First thing on the pre-trip is your safety belt. But before you get underway, remember the exam sheet's going to look something like this. All right?
Okay.
So you're allowed to take this sheet right here, fold it, and put it up, and put it right down here. So this way you can read it as you're going along.
Okay.
All right? First thing on my list is my safety belt. My safety belt is securely mounted on 3 locations, 1 up here by my head, 2 down here by the driver's door, and 3 here on my right. There's no missing nuts or bolts, they're all securely mounted. My belt is not cut, torn, or frayed. It securely latches. It also unlatches. And then lastly, adjusts to me. Now I leave it on. All right? Now I'm gonna do the emergency equipment. First on my list is my spare fuses. Second on my list is my reflective triangles. And right behind my seat here is my fire extinguisher. So my spare fuses, my package is intact. However, if it were open, none of my fuses are used. None of them are missing. My reflective triangle is behind the passenger seat. You don't need to pan over to that. I would open up that box to make sure none of them are broken or cracked. They're all the proper color, which is orange. None are missing. My fire extinguisher is secured to the floor. It's not cracked or leaking. All right. The safety pin's in place. It's fully charged and it's proper for my load. Right. Now I'm going to do a safe start. So I explained that my parking brake's engaged, my trailer brake's engaged, my truck is in neutral. I can start this truck. Lights on right here. I'll explain that all my dash lights are on and all my gauges are visible. So starting with my temperature gauge right here. This is my temperature gauge right here. It's working, it's slowly rising. This is my oil pressure gauge. It has oil pressure and it's holding. This is my voltmeter gauge. It's at 14 and charging. And these are my air pressure gauges. They're both at 120 and holding. Next up is my light indicators. This is my left indicator. I can see it, it's working. There's my right indicator, I can see it, it's working. There's my hazards, I can see them, they're working. There's my high beam indicator, I can see it, it's working. My low beams are on, they too are working. Next up is my horns. My city horns here in the middle. Freeway horn right here. Horns work. Heater and defrost. I'm going to explain to the examiner that I'm going to show him or her that my dials work. So I'll come here, back up to heater and defrost. Turn this on to full heat and then max air.
Okay.
All right. I feel air, the defroster works. I feel air, the heater works. Now I'll make it comfortable for us. All right. Windshield and mirrors. My windshield is clean, clear, not cracked. There's no illegal stickers. Nothing on my dash. Nothing obstructing my view. My mirrors, they too are clean, clear, not cracked, and they're adjusted to me. So, wipers and washers. I'll show the examiner that my wipers are fully functional. The wiper blades are not torn, loose, cracked, or missing. Turn that off. And I'll do the washer fluid. The washer fluid is fully charged. It's being evenly applied, and it's not leaving streaks. All right, now I'm going to do the parking brake. Explain to the examiner that I need to test the parking brake. To do that, I'll put it in first gear here. Release the trailer brake. No brake, no gas, just walk off the clutch. Parking brake holds. Now I'm going to do the service brake or the brake pedal. To do that, put it in gear. Release the parking brake. Now I'm just going to guide the steering wheel forward a little bit here. I'm not going to grab onto it, I'm just going to go like this. Go forward, apply the service brake. Service brake works and doesn't pull on either side, right? So next up I'm going to do the air brake check. I explained to the examiner that my air brake check has 3 parts to it. 1, air loss. 2, low air alarm. 3, emergency brakes. I'm starting out with the air loss test. So I turn this key up here to the off position. My foot right now is just resting on the brake pedal. It's not pushing down or into it. And then I turn it back to the on position right here. All my warning lights come up right here. All right. And as I mentioned, I'm doing part 1 of my air brake test, my air loss test. My gauges are at 100 PSI. All right. I shouldn't lose 4 PSI in 1 minute. So now I'll hold that there for 1 minute. All right. It's going to seem like the longest minute of your life. It's going to be quiet, and it's like, oh, I wish this 1 minute was up. But once that 1 minute's up now, you'll say that it's been 1 minute now, and I didn't lose 4 psi in that 1 minute. Next up, I'm going to do my low air alarm check. I should both hear and see the low air alarm between 80 and 60 psi. Then pump the brakes. I both hear and see the low air alarms. Next up, I'm going to do the emergency brake test. Both my parking brake and trailer brake, they're going to engage between 40 and 20 psi. These are both engaged. I'm going to start this truck and test them. No brake, no gas, just walk out the clutch here. Emergency brakes hold. The last thing I want to do is I'm going to recharge my tanks back up to a safe level. Both of these needles should be above 90. So I'll go ahead and charge them up. I'll give it a little bit of gas, maybe something over 1,000 RPMs here. And I'm going to check my list to make sure I didn't miss anything on the outside. So if I were very studious about this, I would have read it, pointed to it, talked about it, checked it off, moved on and checked this off as I was going along so I'd keep track of what I was doing. Also, I would have actually, as I completed this section here, I might ask the examiner what's my time so I can keep track of my time as I'm moving along too as well. Right now I'm just looking on the outside here and also the inside to make sure I didn't miss anything. So once my tanks are back up to a safe level, just above 90 psi, I'll say both my tanks are above 90 psi, the safe level, and rising or charging. I've reviewed the outside of my list here, didn't miss anything. Reviewed the inside here, didn't miss anything. My pre-chip's complete. So test number 1's done now. All right? I'm not going to hurry up on the road test. I'm going to give myself a couple of minutes to kind of calm down, recompose myself. And when I'm ready for the road, I'll say, hey examiner, well, I'm ready for the road now. Before I get on the road, I'm going to test my trailer connection. So to do that, put it in first gear, release the parking brake, no brake, no gas. I'm just going to walk out the clutch here. My trailer is securely connected. Now I can go ahead and release this, put my signal on, look, go out and drive. That's it.